What is up, yo? Welcome back to another video. This is gonna be just solo me by myself. And I'm actually re-recording this because I recorded this a couple I want to say like a week ago, but I deleted some of the footage that I used because I'm a goofy goober. I'm a goofball. So actually what we're gonna talk about today, as I'm going through my workout, we're going to talk about a 2025 annual review. And I recorded half of these while I was at the gym like a week ago, and then I recorded the other half while I was at home, and I deleted the first half that I did. So we're going to go through, we're going to redo this again, we're going to go through and just answer the questions. And then these questions, I got them from podcast I listen to. It's actually called Modern Day Wisdom. And if you haven't listened or you don't know what podcast I'm talking about, I suggest you check it out. A lot of good stuff on there. Modern Day Wisdom on YouTube by Chris Williamson. And yeah, so just to get you like a little preview of just what the questions are, is like, how has this year gone? What went well? What went badly? And the thing that I'm reading off of, he has a link in one of his, I want to say like a couple of his videos that he did for like the end of the year. And he has a link on the description, and you can just go through and go to the link. It'll have like the questionnaire or whatever. You just copy paste it. What I did is copy paste, and I just pasted it into my notes. I don't know if you can see it, there's a glare, but I pasted it into my notes right there like that. Yeah, we're gonna go through and do half of these while I'm working out. It is back day, and let's get to it. I'll see you guys inside. The review starts like this. It's like, how has this year gone? Well, this year, 2025 was a crazy year, I feel like, for a lot of people, and it's gone. That is ups and downs, you know, it's ins and outs and stuff like that. But I think overall the year wasn't my worst year, but it was definitely one of the toughest years that I've gone through, especially with just like personal growth and just myself and all that stuff. What went well? Well, this year I think it just started building a lot more confidence in myself, a lot more like really sharing like who I was and what I really wanted to do with myself and like my life, and like it's just coming to terms with like a purpose. What went badly? I think this year was definitely a year of figuring out what I want in relationships. And I think relationships went badly. Friendships and like partnerships. What lessons did I learn? That's a deep one. I feel like I learned a lot of lessons this year, but I think one of the really good lessons that I learned was, you know, nobody's coming to save you. You got to do the work yourself, and nobody's coming to save you. At the end of the day, it's just you versus you. And cherish the people that are around you. Do right by people that do right by you. And if you don't love yourself, or if you don't even know yourself, who you are, you can't expect other people to love you and know who you are. That's one of the biggest ones too. All right, now let's do this other workout and let's crack. What habit or system accounted for most of your success? You see, I don't really think I'm like super successful in much regard, but I think sticking to, when it comes to like habits or systems, honestly, being on like a meal plan, as weird and as simple as it sounds, like being on a meal plan, just me figuring out how to do my own meal plan and sticking to it, just like what I'm gonna eat in a day, has really just kept me locked in and focused on like where I want my body to go and what I really want to do with like my body and my goals. that has been something that accounted for a lot of my success. I think really sticking to listening to something positive, trying to stay in a positive mindset, which I wasn't always that way. It takes time to build up to that point, but sticking to a positive mindset, listening to something positive, reading something positive, speaking something positive, and praying. To be honest, it's something that's just like newer, like towards the tail end of the year that I really practice more. I think those things have really accounted for a lot of my success. What are the most valuable ways I spend my time? I think one of the most valuable ways I spend my time is definitely focusing on myself, right? I listen to podcasts like self-improvement podcasts, and like I just try to listen to things that would keep me in a good, positive headspace. I pray. That's how I like to spend my time praying. I go to church, or I recently started going to church more towards the tail end of 2025. Spending time with family really puts kind of like in perspective what I'm really doing this for. Those who don't know, like I have a son. So that's also something that really drives me, spending a lot of time with my son, spending a lot of time with my family. That's what drives me to keep doing what I'm doing and chasing the dream that I have. How can I find more time for this? I think just making them a priority, making this a priority, making the gym a priority, making creating content a priority, making spending time with family a priority, whatever chance I get to be around them. I think that's something that really, I gotta prioritize more. I haven't always done it, but I know I need to prioritize that more. And I think that's cutting out all the excess BS, all the excess of doom scrolling, maybe watching YouTube, all the excess like going out. And I work a lot too, so maybe just taking a couple of days off of work and being like, I want to focus on being there with my family and doing the stuff like that, because I got 2 jobs. So all right. All right, that felt pretty good. Next question, here we go. I wonder if you guys can see my face. Hopefully. Next question. What brought me the most happiness? How can I help these activities to happen more often? I think the things that brought me more happiness are just, again, spending time with my family. Achieving the things that I set my mind to has also brought me a lot more happiness. I know I did post some YouTube videos back in August, and being able to go through and record those and being able to edit those and then post those have brought me a lot of happiness. It didn't really matter like the views I got. It was mattered more of like, okay, I'm doing this is what I wanted to do, and I set my mind to it and I did it. I accomplished it, and that brought me happiness. And it was just achieving that goal of like, okay, I know I can do it. It wasn't really achieving the goal, but it was more like proving to myself that I can do it. Spending time with my family also brought me happiness. Being with them, being around them. They're funny. I love my family. I think they're great. I think they're amazing. And I think anybody else who loves their family would love spending time with them. How can I help these activities happen more? Stick to the things I say I'm going to do. Really just be consistent and not be a fraud to myself. Be consistent in the things that I said I want to do, and just following through with that, as well as being able to make more time for my family. I live with my father right now, and I barely even see him because he works his tail off, and I barely even see him, and I live with him. Like, so that's crazy. I live with the man, and I don't even see him. I don't even spend time with him. So just spending time with my family. Just need to make more time for them, figuring out my schedules and stuff like that. Who are the people that had the greatest impact on me? How can I see and collaborate with them more? I think the people that have the most impact on me this past year, honestly, I met Dan towards the tail end of the year, and he's had a huge impact on me, just in the way they train, also just in him just being like, you can do it, bro. Like, you could just do it. Like, you can set your mind to it and do it. And him just also telling me like, you know what, take that time out of your day to reflect and be like, okay, what can I do better tomorrow that I didn't do today, that I didn't do today, so I can be better tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? And who else had a great impact on me this year? I met this girl when I was out and talked for a little bit. And she actually had she still does have a great impact on me. We're not together or anything, but she's a really great friend of mine currently right now, and she's had a really great impact on me. There's also another one of my friends, and I've known her for a long time, and she's had a great impact on me. Actually, I'll get more into it later, and I'm very vague about it, but she's had a great impact on me. She helped me realize that I need to change as a man to be more of a respectable man as one that I want to be. And I met her a while ago, like 2 years ago, but she's had that great impact on me this past 2025. And then what else? How can I see and collaborate them with more? Well, the girl I met 2 years ago, I don't talk to her anymore, so I don't know how that's gonna go collaborating wise. The girl I met 2025, I still talk to her regularly, and just talking to her, kind of bouncing back ideas and beliefs and things like that makes me realize okay, there's actually way different perspective, and there's people out there who are actually willing to work on themselves and go through the hard things and do the hard stuff. And just, I guess, collaborating with them more is just speaking to them more. Dan, I work out with Dan, and just speaking with him more, just kind of, they always say you surround yourself with people who are there to elevate you. And I think that's something that I've really been working for towards at least the tail end of 2025. All right, one more set, and then we'll keep going. Let's work. Okay. What did I expect to complete but didn't? Honestly, that 2025 I expected to have a six-pack. I don't. And I know this is very a superficial goal, but it's something that I've been working for a while. I've been a fat kid my entire life, so this is something that I've been working towards for a long time. So I think that I'm really trying to focus in right now and dial in on my dieting, my working out, getting rest and recovery, and to try to still get that six-pack. And I think just getting a six-pack is proving more to me than it is to anybody else. And it's not what do they call it? It's not a vanity thing for me. It's more of look at the work I did to get this, and I know that's a win for me. I also expected to post more on YouTube and do more content on TikTok and the reels, but I didn't because I fell off for a while in the middle of the year. But these are still important goals of mine, and I'm working on them to keep progressing and keep bettering them for 2026. How can I make future follow through more likely? How can I make future follow through more likely? I think just keeping that why in my mind, keeping that reason as to why I did it in the first place. Like I said, it's to prove something to me more than anything else. And I think just keeping the reason I can do it too. I know people around me are looking at me and they're like, yo, if he could do it, I can do it. What's stopping me? And there's nothing stopping you. I'm not special. I'm not better than anybody else. And all I know is that if I can do it, I'm paving that path for somebody to be like, I can do it too. So what are the least valuable ways I'm spending my time? What are the least valuable ways? I doom scroll a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna get on social media and I doom scroll a lot. I watch a lot of YouTubes. Sometimes I get in my head and in my feelings about a lot of things, and I overthink a lot, and that prevents me from doing certain things that I know I need to do. For example, putting up this camera. There's people here, and I'm just doing it, and I get in my head a lot about maybe people are judging me or whatever, but it is what it is. And just trying to stop getting in my head and doom scrolling, definitely a thing. How can I prevent myself from continuing to spend time this way? Maybe set a timer on my phone. Maybe set more of a rigid schedule, and just keep in my mind that everybody at the gym is in their own little world. And I said this before in one of the last videos I posted on YouTube, and it's like everybody in the gym is in their own little world. They're all trying to do their own little thing. They're all focusing on themselves, and if you come to the gym and focus on yourself, a lot of other people don't really give a damn what you're doing. And just tell myself, like, so what if they judge? So what if they judge? Next question. How have my goals or priorities shifted over the last few months? Is there anything am I still doing that is no longer in alignment, and why? Honestly, at the beginning of the year, my priority was like having fun and going out there and just partying and drinking and getting drunk and just enjoying life. And that's definitely shifted over the last couple months to that I realized, like, I focus so much. Okay, this year, something that I learned too, this ties into everything, is that you become what you focus on, not necessarily what you want to become. You become what you focus on. And I definitely focused on the man that I didn't like or I didn't want to be. The man, I guess, essentially I hated. I would look outside the scope and I would see that man, I'd be like, I would never want to be like this guy. And I focused so much on like the things that I hated that I became that which I hated, because I was so focused on it that I became it. I consumed it. I stared into the abyss and the abyss stared back. So I became somebody who was avoidant, somebody who was scared of their own feelings, and I would drink my feelings away and I would party my feelings away, all because I thought I was having fun and enjoying life. But now it's all shifted. I want to be the man that I want to be. I want to be disciplined. I want to be successful. I want to be somebody who people look at and admire. So, and I want to be someone I admire myself. Like my younger self can be like, wow, that's the man I became, and that'd be great. So that's definitely a way things shifted. Is there anything I'm still doing that is no longer in alignment? I don't think I'm really doing anything that's no longer in alignment with who I want to be, because I'm focused at the gym now. I'm dialed in on my diet and staying consistent with trying to post videos, make reels, and stuff like that. I'm just trying to be somebody who's inspiring others, somebody who's motivational for others. All right, best surprise. Not entirely too sure what my best surprise is. Best surprise, maybe like my birthday. I went out to the club and bought a table, and I guess that was a really big surprise because I wasn't expecting that. Best meal, anything homemade from my tia, especially tamales. Best meal. Coolest new experience. Taking my son to see the lights and actually him being able to like see it and actually consciously recognize to him like, yo, these are like Christmas lights. This is awesome. This is fun. Him having fun and enjoying all that stuff. Best cool experience as like a dad, just seeing Christmas through his eyes. Favorite weekend. Definitely a weekend when I spent with my family. Took a couple of days off, spent with my family, just had a bunch of fun. Can't remember exactly what weekend that was, but that was one of the best weekends. Favorite first meeting, like I said earlier this year, I met this girl and we started talking for a little bit. We dated for a little bit, and then that kind of, I had to put a hold to it because I'm not the man who I want to be, and I can't show up in a relationship when I'm not who I want to be yet. Or I don't feel ready to give my all to somebody yet. But that's definitely my favorite first meeting for sure. And I met her at the club, which is oddly enough funny because I don't like meeting people at the club, like especially females, because I believe that they're all there for the same reason. And maybe I'm wrong, but that's just my prejudgment of things, you know? Favorite new city, haven't gone to a new city, so that's out. Favorite new emotion, the emotion of, I guess, knowing that I messed up and just accepting that, whatever emotion that is. Maybe it's like two different emotions all in one, but just like being like, I messed up. I get it. Just acceptance, I guess, to be honest. Favorite new walk? Didn't really take any new walks. Favorite new friend? Dan. Fire. Dan's fire. Favorite tour? Didn't really do a tour or anything like that. Favorite day? Any day with my son is one of my favorite days. Most intense week. I think it was a week where I was working doubles back to back. It's definitely a moment where I was working back to back, like Monday, like Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday. That's pretty much my work week. I was working doubles back to back to back to back to back. No sleep, really tired, trying to get to the gym in between work, or in between both of my jobs. So yeah, that was very, very much an intense week. Favorite artist, Russ. If y'all don't listen to Russ, y'all missing out on some hits, some bangers, some deep lyrical stuff, some things that are very just real and whatever he talks about. Favorite song, if you're Hispanic, La Luna por mí. I'll give you a Spanish one, La Luna por mí by Javi. And then in English, my favorite song for sure, it has to be Fraud by Russ. Favorite quote, emotions are good indicators, not great dictators. I'll give you 2 quotes. Emotions are good indicators, not great dictators. And the path of a righteous man is not easy. I don't know where I heard this from, but for sure, those are some of my favorite quotes. All right. Come on. 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 Damn it. What would I do this year if I wanted to make 85-year-old me miserable? I wouldn't do the things I said I would stick to. I would live my life being avoidant. I would drink, go out, smoke, drink alcohol, be a lazy potato, scroll on my phone, doom scroll, be a terrible dad, hate on people. I would not work out, not diet well. All the things that are really important to me right now is the things that I wouldn't do to make 85-year-old me miserable. What would 85-year-old me wish I did more of? I think 85-year-old me wishes right now. At the end of the day, it's like what I wish I pretty much do more of. Probably just be a little more outgoing, talk to people, say what's up. I feel like I'm very extroverted, but at the same time, I'm also very introverted. I like to be by myself a lot. But I also like to communicate and talk to people. So it's like a very weird balance. I'm trying to figure out how to balance that, I guess. And but wish I read a little more. Wish I prayed more. Wish was more attention to my spiritual side. Wish he would just post more videos. Wish he would just create more content. I think right now it's just all about just pushing content out, trying to find new things to do, new things to talk about, like on here. And yeah, I think that's what, for now, is all I can think about. Okay, last question. What are the things I do to make my day go great? Make my day go great. Definitely start off with like something positive. Listen to something that's just like super positive. Not necessarily affirmations, but like starting the day off with a prayer. You know, dear God, thank you for another day of life. Thank you for giving me the ability to go to work. Thank you for giving me the ability to wake up today and be able to pursue the things that I want to pursue and everything that I feel like it's in your will. And then it's just saying, you know, God, I'm worried about this. I'm stressed about that. Please give me the wisdom, give me the guidance to go through and make the correct decisions. And if things don't work out, I just know they're already in your will, and you know my future. I don't know my future, so I put it in your hands. And all glory to you, God. It's pretty much like kind of how I start my day, and that gets to set tone for the rest of the day. Sets the tone for the rest of the day. Think of something positive, you know. Maybe look at yourself in the mirror and be like, you're a great man or woman. You know, you're a great person. You have a great personality. You're understandable. You can connect with people. You can impact people. Your voice carries. Your words have volume to, or yeah, your voice has your voice carries, and your words have weight to them. So just little affirmations, and just listening to something positive. Maybe it's good music. Maybe it's your favorite music. Maybe it's your favorite type of music. And drinking water. It's definitely a good thing for me. Drinking water in the morning, and so things that typically make my day go good. Listen to something positive, read something positive, and say something positive. All right, we're picking this back up where I left off. So I think the last one was, what things make my day go terribly? And I think I had mentioned about when I get like in my head, when I get this self-doubt, when I kind of overthink everything, you know, when I overthink just everything in my life, kind of just like all the mistakes, all the little things I just nitpick, all the things that I feel like had gone terribly, or that I feel like maybe I could have changed, but in reality, some things just aren't in your control. Some things are just not in my own control, in my own my own domain to control. Sometimes life happens, and when I overthink, and I sit there and I just have time to really just ponder for a while, I think that's when things get really misconstrued in my head, and I just get in my head a lot. So I think that's really what with other things, you know, that make my day go terribly. All right, next question. What do I think is productive that isn't? I think I watch a lot of YouTube. I think that I like to take inspiration, or I like to believe that I take inspiration from the videos that I do watch. I know I'm saying a lot. I need to chill on that. But I definitely watch a lot of YouTube and try to get inspiration from different YouTubers that I follow. I believe that at the moment I'm using that for my own self-gain and for the ability to just create new ideas. But in reality, I think I waste a lot more time because I just get sucked into just watching those videos, and I just put off of the things that I need to do. Which in that sense, like, yes, I would believe that it's productive, but in reality, most of the time it's not. Next question. What is productive that I don't realize? I think I don't realize that sometimes being productive isn't about getting yourself closer to your goal, but getting yourself, I think really, like, when you think about it, sometimes we think of a destination as our goal, or a destination as like, I want to get here, and this is going to be my goal, and this is where I'm going to be, and this is where it's going to set and everything. Sometimes I believe that a goal is who we become as people. And that could be a goal of yours, like who we become as people, who you want to be at the end of the year, or who you want to be in 3 months, and who you want to be in 6 months or whatever. And I think spending time with my family, and intentional time, you know, time where I'm not distracted, time where I'm mentally there and I'm there with my family. I believe that those times are actually very productive that I don't realize, because at the end of the day, I want to be I want to be a better son, a better father, a better friend, a better cousin, a better uncle. At the end of the day, I want to be the best version of myself I possibly can, and I think those moments where I sit there and I'm actually there with my family, spending time with family, spending that quality time too with family, I think that's something that I don't realize is actually really productive for me as I develop relationships with the people that I care about. Something productive that I don't realize. What do I want to do less of with my time? Doom scrolling. I want to be less on TikTok or on Instagram. I want to be less on maybe more focused on posting and pushing my social media out, and the things that I want to put out. I definitely want to be less consumption and more like speaking life into people. Not necessarily like speaking life into people, but also like producing like the things that I want to do. And obviously it takes time. I'm still very new to this, but I'm learning as I go, and I feel like I'm evolving as I go too. And like things start to get better and better and better, and that's just learning, you know. That's also just learning. So I think I want to spend less time doom scrolling on whatever platform, less time dwelling on my sadness. It's like I've realized that I feel a lot and I feel deeply, and I'm a very emotional person, and I've recently started to learn that it's okay as a man to sit in your emotions and deal with them. Not just as a man, but as a person. To sit in your emotions and to sit in that uncomfortable feeling. A lot of times, I remember at the beginning of the year, I used to run away from that. I used to drink, and I used to just try to numb myself. Like, you scroll through TikTok, you find a funny ass video, and then you just forget about it, you know. And in reality, you don't really, like, subconsciously it's still there. Those emotions, all that thing's just suppressed now because you have completely distracted yourself and not dealt with those issues. And I wanna be able to just I've been learning, and I want to be able to just sit in those feelings and process them and be like, okay, it's okay to feel this right now. It's, you know, you shouldn't shame yourself for having emotions and feeling a certain way. I believe that, like I said before, emotions are great indicators, not great dictators. Obviously, you know, if I feel really depressed, I'm not, or upset or something really has me down, like I don't want to sit and dwell in that all freaking day, because I've done that. I don't want to sit and dwell in that and let it consume my day, and then I get nothing done during the day that I needed to get done or that I wanted to get done. So I want to be better at that. I want to stop doom scrolling. What else do I want to spend my time doing less of? Definitely those two are like the biggest ones that just pop out to me, just off rip. Okay, what do I want to do more with my time? More with my time, I want to get better at the social media stuff. I wanna create a community where, not necessarily push my ideals, but obviously I'm gonna push my ideals and the things that I believe in. Things that I believe in, obviously, you know, no better day to be better than today, which I believe it's so true. Like, you have today to be better than the best version of yourself that you can, you know, and it always starts with 1% better every day. So no better day to be better than today is something that I live by, something that I strive to live by. Before that, God, I want to get better at pushing the idea of God, or having some type of faith, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of things that are beyond our control. And if you don't have any faith in something, whether it be God, whether it be the universe, whether it be in whatever, right? If you don't have any faith, you're gonna crumble. Unfortunately, I started to see that if you don't have a belief in something, you are definitely gonna crumble. You're gonna fall subject to a lot of things that you think are in your own will, when in reality, yes, we have free will, but you don't know your path. You don't know what the future holds for you. You don't know what's going to come to you tomorrow. You don't know if you might even wake up tomorrow, you know? So definitely God has been something that I've been working on trying to reconnect with. In general, I don't ever want to really say that I was ever really like truly spiritual in that sense, but it's something that I want to push forward. Read my Bible more, read the Bible in general, actually. Go to church more, you know, be surrounded by people who really I feel or I can sense that are walking in that path, you know. What else? Obviously push my social media. I want to get better at this YouTube stuff. I want to get better at pushing videos. I want to make videos that impact people. I want to make videos that somebody could go back to and be like, dang, like this was a good video. And I feel like, honestly, and I'm gonna leave this in, honestly, I feel like this video is gonna be one of the best videos I will make, only because it's going deep into who I am, the things that I've learned. And I know somebody has to resonate. I know somebody that watches this is gonna be like, yo, something like that happened in my life this year, and I resonate with what he just said, you know. So yeah, push my social media, or God first above everything, which I gotta get better at that. God first above everything. Pushing my social media, creating a community that revolves around being better, and lifting. Obviously, I want to get better physically. I want to spend my time being better physically, being healthy. I think a lot of times too, with mental health comes physical health, and I think when you start to move your body first, your mind follows. And I'm a firm believer in that, because if you sit and rot on your couch on your bed, your mind is gonna follow that. But if you make the conscious decision to get off your ass and go for a run, go for a walk, go outside, enjoy the air, or do something, be active, your mind won't sit there and overthink constantly. So I want to be better at my time at doing things like that. What does an ideal normal day look like? Write it out. Well, I'm gonna say it out. An ideal normal day, I would say, let's do it like a Monday. My Mondays have typically been looking like work at 4 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning. Then I would get off anywhere from 12:30 to 1:30, so I'd be at work for those hours. Then I would hit the gym real quick, maybe for like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours if I get lucky. Go home, change, make a protein shake, grab my meal, or not go home, change, shower. Go home, shower, make a protein shake, grab my meal, and then go to my second job. And then for my second job, I'll be there anywhere from, it ranges very much, but the latest I would probably be there would be like 11 o'clock. And then from 11 o'clock, I'd go home. Well, I'd eat my food. It'd probably be a little too late, but I'd eat my food, go home, brush my teeth, shower, then go to sleep, go to work the next day. And that's typically what a normal day looks like for me. And I know it sounds like, dude, like you're like, that doesn't sound fun, but my days tend to switch up day to day, depending on if I work my second job and if I have my son that week. So that a normal day for me without my son, that's what that would look like. What conversations do I need to have? That's that's a deep one, honestly. When I was at the gym, actually, like right before the gym, I had a very hard conversation with somebody that I asked God that if this person was gonna be in my life, to give me a sign, and if this person was no longer meant to be in my life for whatever time, whatever season, to have them tell me the exact words that I know I need to hear. And I saw this person right before I actually went to the gym and I started recording, and I had a hard conversation, and I know I'm speaking of like this is a conversation that already happened, but it was definitely a conversation I needed at the time. And now I know where we stand as like people, where we stand as to move forward, and it's hard, it was a hard conversation, but we got through it. I definitely stuck to the things that I said I was going to do if I heard those exact words. And I don't really want to go too much into it. It's definitely a very personal thing in my life. Obviously, I'm very open. Maybe I'll talk about it in later videos or in a later video. But as of right now, it's just something that, just leave it at that. I had a very hard conversation, and I'm glad I had that conversation, because now I know the direction I need to go after this conversation. I think conversations that I need to have, I honestly been lacking in telling my family I love them a lot. Growing up Hispanic, we never really practice the whole idea of like I love you. In some Hispanic households, I feel like people do practice that, but growing up Hispanic, it's very, or it was very strange and very, it felt very uncomfortable to say I love you, which is weird. It was more like you did acts for them. And I want to have conversations where I could tell my mom I love her, and that she means the world to me, and that that I wouldn't be the man I am today without her. Same thing with my sister. Same thing with my father. Honestly, I give all respect to my father because he's done so much for us as a family, and he's done so much for himself as a person. And I just want to tell him I'm proud of him. And sometimes also the language barrier, like my Spanish isn't the best, so I think there's some words that get lost in translation. There's some things that maybe I don't know the right translation or the right form to come off as. What else? What other conversations do I need to have? Probably a lot of them. Maybe. I think I've recently lived my point to a life where I don't hold back what I want to say anymore because I'm scared of what the other person might think or how their feelings might be hurt in any way. I think I've definitely become somebody who's, I don't want to say cutthroat, but definitely somebody who doesn't hold back their truth. Somebody who doesn't just go with the flow because you have a different opinion or because you have a different ideal. You know, I'm definitely somebody who's gonna be like, well, I believe in this, or I think this is right, and if we can't come to a compromise or something in that regard, or if you're not okay with me still sticking to the things that I believe in, or if I'm not okay with you sticking to the things that you believe in, like maybe we shouldn't even talk about it anymore, or we shouldn't hang out as much, or whatever, you know, whatever the case may be. But I think definitely for sure conversations of telling people that I love them and that they mean the world to me, or that they mean they have a very special place in my life, and just show them gratitude and I'm being grateful for them. I think those are conversations that I feel like I need to have. What are the habits I'm coming to starting and stopping? All right, guys. I know I post a lot about being healthy and not running away anymore, and like doing drugs, doing like drinking alcohol, whatever else you could do to distract yourself, you know, doom scrolling, whatever, like just numbing yourself away. Habits I'm committing to starting: posting more content, post more YouTube content, being super strict on my diet. I think that's a habit that I'm starting to build. I already started to build, honestly, this whole month of December. So I think that's something that's, I guess you could say, still in the process of happening. But I think I'm getting to the point where I was like, okay, I gotta stick to this. And I feel like I've been really good at that. Now coming back to being healthy, I smoke. No, I don't smoke weed. I don't smoke cigarette. I vape, and I think that's I definitely know that's a problem. I definitely know that's not healthy. I definitely know that it's not the best thing to do, and that's something I want to let go of. Just letting go of that. I've also come to realize that I believe that if there's something that I want to stop and get rid of, and I truly want to get rid of it, I'll be able to do it if I just let it go. But I also know it's become a coping mechanism for me, and I know I need to let it go. And I'm working on it, and I know nobody's perfect, and I know if you guys are going to judge me and say whatever, go ahead, because I'm being open and I'm being vulnerable on here for you guys, just so that you guys can know, or you guys can have that ability to be open and vulnerable to yourselves. Because if you do this, I have this on my notes, like if you do this on your notes, I want you to be the most open, most vulnerable as you can be. And again, this is not from me, this is from a guy called Chris Williamson, and he has a video that says the 23 best lessons or something like that, and in that video, in the description, he has a link to being able to do the end of these highlights. He has it in another video, I think, too, but being able to do the review and do it for yourself, you know what I'm saying? I really think that this is gonna help you launch your 2026 a lot better. And I hope this video, and I hope I make this video in time for 2026, and if I don't, I hope it comes in the beginnings of January, you know, in the beginnings of 2026. But yeah, what else? Final thoughts. It says, what would have had to have happened by the end of next year for me to look back on the year and consider it successful? I think success can be like defined differently by many different people. I definitely think my success would be like, and this is going to be superficial. We'll start with superficial. What would have to happen is I become a PT trainer, right? A certified personal trainer, because that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do right now. Personal, or get my certification. That's what I want to do. I just want to get a certification. Be like, okay, I know what I'm talking about. You know, I have the proof or whatever. Even though sometimes people, you know, don't really know sometimes what they're talking about, even if they have a certificate or something. But I want to get certified as a personal trainer. I want to get the nutritionist course done. I want to blow up on YouTube, and I know it's going to take a while, but I want to be able to have a platform where I can impact people. So that would have to happen, like a platform where I can impact people. And it'd be across all my social media. It'd be across TikTok. It'd be across Instagram. Those are really the two. TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. If I have those three and have a community to where I can impact people, and I could be like, look, it's going to be okay. You know, we're all here to grind out. You know, we're going to have different seasons this next year. I know for sure we're gonna have seasons like right now, where people, I feel like I've seen a lot of people go through a lot of stuff recently in the last couple months, and this is a season of shedding, right? I've heard a lot about that on social media, just the year of the snake or whatever, shedding off all that dead skin, shedding it all off, letting go of things, and actually aligning to the purpose that you're meant to be in, right? Aligning with the person that you're meant to be. And I think creating or having a community and a platform to be inspiring to somebody who could come to one of my videos or one of my reels and be like, yo, I needed to hear that, and have I definitely want to have an impact on people, and for it to call 2026 a success, money wise, I would not want to be struggling with money. I feel like right now I'm not necessarily struggling with money, but I would definitely be better off making more. And I think all of us, right, would be better off making more. But that's definitely for sure something that would make the year successful. I think also personal wise, just being more in tune with who I am, and having that discernment to figure out and understand things that are aligning with who I am and where I want to go and what I want to be. I would say relationship wise, I would want to be in a relationship 2026, but that's not my focus right now. My focus is just trying to grind out and trying to do everything that I've put on my plate, and trying to finish and lick that plate clean, and trying to work through all those things, and figuring out if I can be successful, and if I can be successful, being successful, and if I can't be successful, learning from why I wasn't able to be successful, and then making it work even after that. So I think that's what would have to happen in 2026 for me to say the year was a success. Again, nobody knows what 2026 has in store for us, for any of us. For all we know, something gonna happen and the earth blows up and that's it. We don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. But next question: what do I need to become? Who do I need to become for next year's chapter of my life story to turn out the way I would write it? I need to become somebody who's disciplined, a God thing. I always put God second for some reason. I need to stop doing that. I know I'm working on that. I need to become a God-fearing man. I need to become spiritually aligned in the things that God wants me to be aligned in. I need to become disciplined in my life. I need to become more organized in my life. I need to not worry so much about the future and what's to come. I need to be somebody who is present. I need to be somebody who is driven and ambitious. I need to become somebody who's like a doer and a go-getter. I need to become somebody who has, I guess, just the discipline to keep doing the things, the mundane things, because a lot of successes happen in your daily habits, and sometimes the daily habits that we have are gonna feel mundane, like they're gonna feel boring at times. But if you understand that, okay, for example, if I understand that making my bed every single day is gonna get me one step closer to having my life together, and I know making my bed is gonna drag every single morning until it just becomes routine, then that's what's meant to happen, you know. And that's with everything. If one day I feel like, ugh, I'm going to the gym, why? Well, I want to have six-pack. You know, after I have a six-pack, I want to pack on muscle. You know what I'm saying? I want to pack up more muscle. Once I pack up more muscle, I want to see where that gets me. Maybe I compete. Maybe I compete. Maybe you see me and I become like a fitness model or something. You know, whatever the case may be, whatever God's will is at that point, it'll be God's will. But definitely got to be those things and have those attributes for this next year of my life to be the way I want it to be. Knowing what I know now, what advice would I give myself 12 months ago? You probably still need to hear this now. Knowing what I know now, what advice would I give myself 12 months ago? 12 months ago, I would tell myself that you need to get up off your ass and nobody's coming to save you. In all reality, nobody's coming to save you. Yes, you can pray to God. Yes, you can do your prayers every single day. And now I'm not saying prayers don't work. I'm just saying spiritually, yes, that might help. But in reality, God will not come down, pick you up, and tell you to keep moving. That's something that you have to decide for yourself. Yes, you can pray on it and pray that the best outcomes happen, or pray that you have the courage and the willingness to keep taking another step. But until you take that other step, you will never find out if that prayer worked. Until you make that decision in yourself to get off your ass and do something about your health, do something about your mental state, do something about your physical well-being, do something about your business, or do something about just your daily life, your career goals or anything like that. Until you make that decision to make the first step, nothing's going to happen. That's what I would tell myself. I would tell myself to take that first step. Then I would tell myself to not worry what other people think of you. Don't worry about what other people think about you. You know, currently right now, I don't care what other people think about me. Other people might say, yo, you're crazy for making videos. They're never going to blow up. I have a cousin who's young. She's young, and she told me one day, it's like, why are you posting reels if they're not going to blow up? And I was like, because I want to. Because I know somewhere, someday, one of my videos might impact somebody to be better and have a positive outlook in life. And that's why I do it. I don't do it to get famous. And if I get famous or if I blow up in some way, great. But I do it because I hope something I say resonates with somebody. And I hope somebody get through something difficult without even knowing them. And if someday they're like, yo, I want to meet you. And I'm just like, come on, like, what's up? We're gonna set something up. Or they run into me in the street and they say, yo, you helped me out so much. XYZ, that'll be great. So don't worry about what people are gonna say about you. Put up that camera in the gym. You know, record your life. What else would I tell myself? It's important to practice gratitude. It's important to sit there and think about the things that you are grateful for, the things that you might have that not other people have. That it is important to practice gratitude every single day of your life. To not dwell on the past, for the past is no longer here. And if you dwell on your past, you're sitting in misery. And that all your promises right now and you're not even promised a future. And that the present is a gift. That's why it's called the present. That's what I would tell myself. What else would I tell myself? 12 months ago, January 2025, what would I tell myself? I would tell myself that you need to take your diet fucking seriously. That even if it feels like nothing is happening, something's happening. You're in a calorie deficit and you're working out like crazy. Something's happening. Something's bound to happen, right? You're consuming less calories than you're burning, so something's gonna happen. You're gonna drop weight, and to stick with it. I would tell 2025 me to cherish everybody, in a sense that the people that give you their heart and their time can choose to not give you their heart and their time, and they're making that conscious decision to be there for you, and they're making that conscious decision to show up for you in whatever the way they can, and to appreciate them and to cherish them and to not do wrong by them. Like I said, I'm not perfect. I'm nowhere near perfect. The only perfect thing in this world is God, and I'm nowhere near perfect. I've made mistakes. I made plenty of mistakes, and I definitely am paying for those mistakes currently. And I know I smile and stuff like that, but I'm smiling because I never really thought I would get to the point where I can fully accept that, and not necessarily be okay with it, but necessarily just let it process. But I've made mistakes. I'm paying for those mistakes. What else would I tell myself? You know, I would tell myself that there's nothing that's gonna outbeat hard work. That you need to be so obsessed with what you want to do that you wake up hungry for it every single day. That you gotta work your tail off to get what you want to get. That if somebody is talented and they don't put the effort, they're not gonna get as far as you are by putting the effort. Something I would tell myself. I would tell myself to fucking lay off the phone a little bit. Lay off the phone a little bit, because a lot of times I catch myself getting more sad or more upset because I'm on my phone. I'm comparing my own life to somebody that puts pictures up that they're going here, they're going there, they're living the best life, but you're only catching the highlight reels of people that are posting things online. And I compare myself, you know. And what else would I tell them? Don't compare yourself. You know, comparison is a thief of joy, especially at the gym. Especially at the gym. Somebody who can dumbbell press 150 pounds and maybe they don't look as good as you know, because whatever, or you feel like you put in the work and whatever and you can't lift 150 pounds. You know, comparison is a thief of joy. You don't understand what that person has gone through. Maybe you didn't put enough work. Maybe they've been working out for 20 plus years and you've only been working out for 15, you know. Those 5 years difference make obviously that huge difference where they can do 150 and you can't do 150, you know what I'm saying? So I would definitely tell myself, like, don't compare yourself. Everybody's on their own journey, everybody's on their own path, and you just gotta be better than the past you that was the day before, you know. Be 1% better every day. I would tell myself that not everybody is meant to be forever. That people definitely come in your life for seasons, and that's okay. I would What's up?
What you doing?
I'm finishing up my video.
Oh.
You wanna say hi? Everybody say hi. That's my brother.
Hello. What's going on?
What would I tell myself? I would tell myself that some people in your life are meant to be lessons, and that's okay. That some people are not meant to be in your life forever, but they're meant to teach you something, and that's okay. And it's gonna hurt, and you're gonna grieve, and it's gonna be okay. And you gotta deal with that emotion, and you gotta process it in whatever way you can, and don't run away from your emotions, and just process it, feel it, let it run through its course, and just keep moving on. What else would I tell myself? I think that's all. I would tell myself. And like I said, if you guys haven't done this yet, or haven't looked it up, again, Modern Day Wisdom, Chris Williamson, whichever way you want to find it in one of his videos. Definitely. I'll definitely put it in the description. Definitely go through, do it yourself, and be fully transparent with yourself. I mean, you're not going to share it like I did on here. And if you do decide to share it with somebody, hopefully that gives them the ability to go back and reflect on 2025 and how things went. But with that, thanks for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, leave some topics we could talk about in the come out videos, or leave some things that maybe you want to see me do. And peace.